Yo, what is up, Sex Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're doing top 5 zombie bosses in Call of Duty Zombies. Now, this is not my personal opinion. I got this from asking around in live streams, on Twitter, and doing straw polls. So if you actually want to have more input on my top 5s, go ahead and follow me on those so we actually get a chance to vote. And I'm sorry in advance if I start talking a little fast during the video. It's just something I do and I can't really help it. So again, I'm sorry in advance. So let's go ahead and get this shit started.
Warning. Breach detected on level 3. Initiate security protocol 125.
Alright, coming in at number 5 is going to be the Pentagon Thief, which is only available in 5. Pentagon Thief is actually pretty cool because he doesn't actually hurt you, he just steals your weapons and he does not hurt you whatsoever. So once he steals your weapon, he's just going to keep running away, but if you're playing with multiple people, he's going to steal your weapon and then try to go after your friends. So say you're playing on co-op, Pentagon Thief shows up and he's not going after you. You really can't see him except for like a little red mist following him, and that's how you know where he is, so that way you can just keep shooting and unloading on him. And he does not ever run out of sprint, so he's always going to be constantly sprinting. He doesn't really ever get tired. Apparently this man is Usain Bolt and can sprint forever. And like I said before, he will take whatever gun you're holding out, so maybe you got a death machine that round and you're unloading on him with the death machine, but for some reason maybe your accuracy is just terrible. He will actually run up to you and take the death machine, and the death machine will just disappear and all your other weapons will be safe. But say you and your friends are actually unable to kill him, he's basically just going to go back into a teleporter and disappear, and you'll get a max ammo, but he's going to keep your guns. But say you and your friends are actually able to kill him, he's going to give you your weapons back, give you a max ammo, and he's going to drop a fire sale. Now the best way to kill the Pentagon Thief is really just unloading on him with a lot of ammo, but of course the best weapons to use are the ones you would naturally think, like the ray gun, the Winter's Howl, Mustang and Sally, just weapons that do a lot of damage. He doesn't really have any sort of weakness, so just unload whatever weapon you have into him, and hopefully it'll be enough. Or you can use the Winter's Howl and slow him down and then finish him off with whatever. Or maybe you're lucky enough and you can get him to go through the electric trap that will kill him immediately. So there are many ways to kill this man. All you have to do is basically just unload a lot of ammo into him, or a lot of high damage weapons into him, and that'll basically kill him. So let's get on to number 4. Alright, and number 4 is going to be the Ghost from Buried, or Witch, or whatever you wish to call her. This one actually kind of surprised me. I didn't really think this one would make the top list, but it actually did. And I'm actually just going to call her Witch. I know she's not really a witch, she's more of a ghost, but Witch just sort of seems a little bit more natural to me since she's actually a girl, and it just sounds a little better. So the Witch is only available in Buried. And she's actually really interesting because, like the Pentagon Thief, she doesn't really do damage to you. She likes to steal your points, and she likes to steal a lot of them. So she tries to steal 2,000 points each time. So if you run through the mansion, the witch is just going to keep spawning and spawning and spawning until you leave the mansion, unless you enter the mansion when the lights are actually on from outside. So if you're outside and you see the lights on and you run through, that's actually signifying a special round. So the witches are going to keep spawning, and then all the zombies are going to disappear, and the witches are actually going to spawn outside the mansion. And if you kill all the witches, you actually get a free perk. And this can only be done every 4 to 5 rounds. And there's no real reward killing the witches unless you're doing it during a special round. Basically, all you get is you get to keep your points going through the mansion, or you can actually get a perk from her another way. So if you're in the saloon when the piano starts playing, you want to stand at the line and shoot a ballistic knife at the dartboard. When this happens, you have 90 seconds to run through the witch's mansion and keep at least 10 points, and you want to go through the witch's mansion, and on your way back through the second time, you're going to see the witch at the piano, and there's going to be a little jar there. You can tip her 10 points, and if you do that, you will get a free perk. And the best way to kill her is really just use any sort of weapon. They do get stronger as the rounds go on, but it's not like anything major. So it's not going to be like if you're on round 20, you're actually going to have round 20 health. They're still going to be fairly weak, but they do get a little stronger, so it's going to start taking a little bit more bullets. But of course, they are still fairly weak and still fairly easy to kill, so any real weapon will do. Usually like the ray gun Mark II, the paralyzer actually has a special effect on them. So if you actually do paralyze them, you're not really going to kill them. You're just going to slow them down and stop them and disable their abilities to take your points. So this is kind of helpful if you're running through the mansion with multiple people. The man with the paralyzer can just paralyze everyone, and everybody else can just finish them off so that way they cannot steal your points. And there's actually a lot of weapons that are very helpful to kill these witches, so let's go ahead and get on to number 3. Alright, number 3 is going to be Brutus from Mob of the Dead, and this guy's actually pretty cool when it comes to spawning because he doesn't really have a set spawn. Unless you're on the bridge, he's going to spawn in every round, and another one's actually going to spawn in for each round you're staying there. So if you stay there for 2 rounds, 2 Bruises are going to spawn, and so on and so on. But say you're back on Alcatraz, he doesn't really have a set spawn. He just sort of spawns when you do certain things. He's not going to spawn when you're on early rounds, but say you're like on round 10 and you hit the box too many times, he's going to spawn. Or say you're on round 10 and you do something else, he's going to spawn. So he just spawns when you actually do stuff around the map. And there's always going to be a prison cell door opening sound right before he spawns in, giving you guys a little bit of a heads up. And once he spawns in, his basic job is to fuck your day up. So when he spawns in, he's going to come after you, and you'll know he's right next to you when you feel the ground shaking, or when you see his big ass, because this guy is pretty fucking huge. But say he gets up next to a perk or something, he's going to lock it down. So basically, he's just going to lock stuff down around the map, It's not his first priority to lock stuff down. His first priority is to kill your ass, and his second priority is to lock everything down. So say he's running by more perks, he's just going to keep locking them down, and it's going to cost 2,000 points to unlock it. But say he locks the same thing twice, it's going to cost another 2,000 points to unlock it. So it's going to be pretty expensive. So try not to let him lock stuff up. You're not only going to get points for shooting him, unless you knock off his helmet. Whoever shot off his helmet gets 250 points, killing him will give you 750, and everybody else who helped you kill him will get 500 points. And once you actually kill him, he's going to drop a random power up, so it could be anything from an insta-kill to a carpenter. And the best way to kill Brutus is actually just to shoot off his helmet and keep aiming for his head. Like a lot of other things, shoot the head, that's all I really got to worry about. Shooting his body really won't do much because this guy has a lot of health, but if you shoot him in his head, that's his weak spot, it'll take him down fairly quickly. So let's go ahead and get on to number 2. Alright, number 2 is going to be the Panzer Soldat, I hope that's how you pronounce it, or the Bioshock looking motherfucker, so I'm just going to call this guy the Big Daddy. And unlike Brutus, he actually has a set round to spawn in, unless you're doing the Easter egg when you're on the certain step when a hell of a lot of them just spawn in. But if you're just playing for fun, they actually do have certain rounds which they spawn in. But if you're playing solo, only one of them will spawn in. But if you're playing with multiple people, multiple of them will spawn in. And the only real powers he has is the grappling hook, his awesome melee ability, and his flamethrower. But other than that, he doesn't really have any attacks. Probably the most deadly one in my opinion is that grappling hook. So if he gets you and there's a horde of zombies right behind you, you only have a couple seconds to really think to shoot that little red dot, so that way he will release you. Because if you don't, he's just going to keep dragging you near, and all those zombies are going to get swipes at you, and then eventually he's going to hit you, and then eventually you might possibly go down. But if you actually manage to kill him, you're actually going to get a random power up drop. And the best way to kill the Bioshock zombie is basically just shoot his face like every other zombie. You're going to want to keep shooting his face, or as Dempsey says, the glowing area. And there are a lot of weapons that do a lot of damage, like the ray gun Mark II, the stabs, really any weapon will do. But you're really going to want an upgraded weapon, or like the special weapon like the stabs or the ray gun. You're going to want something like that that does a lot of damage and just shoot in his face, or if you have the stabs and just charge the stabs. So let's go ahead and get on to number 1. And coming in at number 1 is going to be the Hellhounds, which was not really a surprise to me. The Hellhounds are a huge fan favorite, and they won by the majority. They had a lot of votes going for them, and it doesn't really surprise me. Hellhounds are awesome. We've had these things since Shin Numa, and they're a huge part of the storyline. Hellhounds are just purely amazing. So Hellhounds are actually only in Shin Numa, Derby's, Keenan der Toten, Moon, and certain parts of Green Run, which you can turn on and off if you're playing with friends. Now Hellhounds don't really have any sort of powers, they're just really fast, so they're going to spawn in packs of 2 to 4 depending on how many people are actually playing with you. So if you're playing with solo, you're only going to get 2, so if you're playing with like 4, you're actually going to get 4. And Hellhounds don't actually have a lot of health, but they're really fast, and sometimes it can be a real pain in the ass if you have a lot of them chasing you. But other than that, they're actually pretty easy to deal with when they're actually on the certain dog rounds. So every dog round, purely dogs are just going to spawn in, the map will get a little foggy, dogs will start spawning in, they're either going to be on fire or not. The on fire ones will explode when you kill them, so be careful. And once you kill all the dogs, you're actually going to get a max ammo. And the dog rounds are actually pretty easy to deal with. So when they actually start spawning in with regular zombies, that they're a huge pain in the ass. So when you get to like round 15, that's when they sort of start spawning in with regular zombies. And these things are a real pain in the ass, especially when you're trying to run a cycle. Because you'll have the huge horde of zombies behind you, and then you'll have those couple dogs up in the front of the pack, sitting there biting your ass every now and then and forcing you to go a little faster than you normally would. And sometimes these dogs can actually get a lot of damage dealt to you because you're not really trying to turn around and kill them, you're actually just trying to lead them to a certain spot. These dogs can be a real pain in the ass sometimes just because they're so goddamn fast. And since the Hellhounds don't really have a lot of health, they're fairly easy to kill, so basically anything will kill them unless you're using the Kar 98. If you're using the Kar 98, I feel sorry for you because that thing will not kill Hellhounds worth a damn. But if you're using like the ray gun, a wall gun, it's going to be fairly easy to kill these things. So really any weapon will do to kill these things. You don't really need anything like the Wonder WAW or something. As long as you have any kind of weapon, you're probably going to be fine. Another thing I love about the Hellhounds is actually the background story behind them. I really find the background story behind the Hellhound, which was Fluffy, Samantha's original dog that Maxis and Richtofen tried to teleport, then turned into the Hellhound. I really love the background story behind the Hellhounds. We really don't see that much nowadays. We sort of lost at the end of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 Zombies. When I mean by storyline, I kind of mean like an in-depth storyline, not just, oh, this happened and this happened. I kind of want like an in-depth storyline that we sort of have to go figure out, that we're not just told. And that's exactly what the Hellhounds were. Hellhounds are an awesome boss zombie, and I would personally love to see more of these in future zombie maps. So I'm very curious to know, do you guys actually agree with this list? If not, put in the comments what you guys like. If you guys didn't see one of your favorite boss zombies, again, put it in the comments. Tell me what you guys like and what you guys don't like. So if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.
Back.